Congratulations. A week after taking down Magnus Carlsen, you take down the world number two, Ding Liren. And what a game it was. But before we talk about that, how are you feeling after this one?
Yeah, I was very happy. I feel also very lucky because the game was not looking good. At one point, I even thought I'm borderline lost, especially before he went knight to b1, which was very logical. I thought the move rook d5 would have me totally pinned down. I just thought I could be lost. It kind of dawned on me.
It was a thrilling game. Anish Giri had a bad position out of the opening, but then in a series of moves, the position completely turned. The game started with knight f3 from Ding. Anish played d5, pawn g3, knight f6, bishop g2, and e6. Castles, bishop e7. c4, castles, b3, and d4. Here the game becomes a little bit closed in the center. White has got space. White is going to fianchetto both the bishops, but black will have space after knight d7 as well. Pawn e3 challenging the center. Pawn c5 keeping it. Now knight e5. Queen c7 attacking it, and f4. Ding goes for expansion along the center and the king side. Knight d7, knight d3, and now e5. Knight a3, pawn a6 stopping knight b5. Bishop b2, bishop d6, and g4. This is the first big moment of the game. Ding plays g4 a bit too prematurely. Anish knew that this was not the right move, and Anish took. And here Ding followed with his plan of g5. So this was a mix-up of move order. g5 was not the best move because here black has a very good move to punish this early g4 g5 by white. The move that Anish could have played was pawn takes e3, sacrificing a knight. But the point is, after knight takes back, there is pressure everywhere. If you try and play move like h3, then just rook e8. If you take, rook takes back. Position is too good for black. At the cost of a piece, you have two pawns and an attack on the king. But Anish did not go for this. He played knight to e8. And here Ding takes control. Ding played knight takes f4, bishop, pawn takes e3, pawn takes back, bishop e5, queen c2, and knight d6. So white's pieces are very active, and white has got some play on the king side. Rook d1 and rook e8. Knight b1. So this is where Anish believed his position was gone. If Ding had played rook d5, Anish would have felt it is completely gone. It would have kept black's pieces pinned down, and white would be way better. But knight b1 is also very strong. He is preparing knight c3 and knight d5, getting to this nice square. So Anish here played a5, and his idea is to activate his rook this way in case of a defense. But Ding didn't have to go a4, but he goes a4. He could have directly gone for knight c3 here without wasting a move on a4. But yeah, he goes a4 and takes knight e5. Knight c3, still good for white. Bishop g4, but slowly black's pieces are coming out. A few moves back, black's pieces were tied down, but now black's pieces are active. Rook d5, a few moves late, and now knight f5. Rook d2. This was the decisive blunder because here Anish could have just played knight b5. Knight b5, let's say queen e7, and then just queen f2, defending the pawn. He did not have to go rook d2. One interesting idea is if you go queen f2 directly, then black can play knight e3 and win the queen. Basically, if queen takes knight, then knight f3. But at what cost? You win the queen at what cost? Too much pieces. Queen takes, bishop takes, rook takes, and it's basically three pieces against a queen, which Anish was okay with. Anish believed black is better and he was fine with his position. But Ding directly went for rook d2. No queen f2, no knight b5, just rook d2, which was a silly mistake. And now pawn falls for free. There's no compensation. The compensation that Ding claims here is that he has a d5 square. So after knight e3, he played knight d5, takes and takes. So on first side, it might look very tempting for white to do this. At the cost of one pawn, you have a knight sitting on d5, queen is active, rook is good, this rook is good, this bishop is great, everything looks great. But Anish is completely fine. He just goes queen b8, pawn h3, attacking the bishop. Bishop goes to e6, knight f4, and here Anish found a very nice move. Bishop takes c4, killing all the play. So if you take back, which is actually the better option, just knight takes back. And now after any queen move, we just take here. And the play is gone. So white has two pieces, but black has got 3 pawns for it. 3 pawns and a rook for 2 pieces. And white's active active play is gone. You don't have much. Black pieces will come out. So after bishop into c4, Ding is in trouble. He actually played rook f2, and now just bishop a6. So black won a pawn for free, and it's 2 pawns up now. Knight h5, rook e7. Queen c7 was another option for Anish. Queen does a better job defending and making threats. Rook d5. Again, the rook goes back to the center square. Queen c7, defending the c pawn. And now rook f5, threatening the knight again, but yeah, black brings a rook back. So instead of rook f5, white could have put pressure on the c pawn, because b6 is not really a great option. So this was an option for white, but yeah, he goes rook f5 and rook e8. Queen c3, putting more pressure on the c pawn, but just b6. And now Ding decided it's time to go desperate, and he goes knight f6. It looks a little bit scary at first. Anish took it. Pawn takes back. This looks scary. If you simply move the rook, then queen g3, and it's mate. So there is only one move that black can play here that wins, and one move that will give white a slight advantage, and everything else is lost in this position, because queen g3 is just difficult to stop. But Anish had a reply, and he found knight f3, giving back the piece basically. Rook takes, and now rook e1. And after bishop f1, he just calmly moves his king across. He is saying, I gave you back the piece, and now you are the one who's under attack. You can't move the rook because rook f1. And threats are incoming. Rook g8 is also coming. So here, Ding resigned because he could not find a way out. He is down by 1 pawn, but the bigger problem is now his king. Rook g8 is kind of unstoppable. If you go rook d2, for example, there's a very nice move for black. Bishop to e2. You can't take with the bishop, and if rook moves, there is mate. There is mate in a few moves, starting with rook f1 or bishop f1. So what can you do? If rook takes bishop, then just rook takes back, and it's up material, and the queen is also jumping in. The position is completely gone after king h8, and that's what got Anish Giri the win. A wonderful game by the world number 7. No wonder he was so happy in the interview.